Okay. No, no, no. No. No touch. Thank you. Spencer just handed me a diaper. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to... Thank you! I wanted to share with you guys some of the things that we have done, some of the things that we are doing today that may or may not have helped her sleep through the night. I mean, I think the main thing is that she's just... Thank you. She's just a good sleeper. Every baby is different. And she's been a good sleeper basically since she was born. There was like 3 or 4 weeks there where she was going to bed really, really early in the morning because she was having really bad reflux. She actually had to be put on a prescription for it, but that's a whole other story. Besides like that brief period, she's been a really good sleeper. Even I think it was like maybe 4 days after we got home from the hospital, we fed her, put her to bed at like midnight, and I woke up at 6 and she like didn't wake up in the middle of the night for a feeding. And we did have her sleeping in our room next to me in like a pack and play with like a bassinet on top, and she didn't wake up, and I was like so scared when I woke up and looked at the time. And I think that just kind of shows that that's just kind of her, that she's always been that way. But I thought I would share some of the things that we use and do that might help you if you are struggling to get your baby to sleep through the night. She is almost 1, she'll be 1 this month, so you know, at that point most babies are sleeping through the night. She still sleeps a really long time. We typically put her to bed around 7, between like 7 and 8, and she wakes up around 7:30 to like 8:30. So she's getting a good 12 to 13 hours every night, and she doesn't wake up at all. But yeah, so you know, like I said, every baby's different. We could do the exact same thing with our next one, and he or she may just be a horrible sleeper. You never know. But I still thought I should share with you guys just some of these things, just in case you are at your wit's end, and maybe there's one thing in here that might make a difference or something new that you can try. So I'll start from like the very beginning, when she was a newborn, what we did. And that is basically going off of her needs and her schedule. We didn't create a schedule for her. We just kind of wanted to, you know, go off what she needed and her timing. I know a lot of parents want that kind of schedule, and that's totally, you know, up to you. And if it didn't work for us to do it the way that we did it, you know, I probably would have tried like the whole schedule thing to see if that helped, but the way that we did it seemed to work. So when she was born, I did have a C-section, so we were in there for 4 days, and the hospital and the nurses and everything put you on like a feeding schedule. And then when we got home, we kind of went around that same schedule, but we basically let her sleep until she was hungry. So I know a lot of people, you know, wake their babies up after like 3 hours at that newborn stage. We did talk to her doctor about it, and you know, always talk to your doctor. My mom was also here, and she's a nurse, and she's worked in pediatrics for I don't know how many years, so we, you know, kind of had her around to make us feel comfortable doing that. But it worked, and she was gaining weight, she was totally healthy, she was fine. So I think that did really help her with her sleeping, just not being waken up, and we just kind of let her sleep when she wanted to sleep, and we would feed her when she was hungry, and that's kind of what we've done up until now. Like, she has like a bedtime because that's when she gets tired. She gets tired around 7, so that's when we put her down. As a newborn, besides just kind of letting her sleep, just a couple things. I mean, that newborn stage is so just kind of like, I feel like there isn't really anything that you can do. They are on their own schedule. They are gonna wake up. They are gonna, you know, want to eat throughout the night. They're, you know, they need things. And so it's kind of hard to like really do anything as far as like sleep training type stuff goes. No, it is what it is. That's all we did in the newborn stage, is just kind of let her do her thing. When she hit about that 2-month mark is when she was really solidly sleeping throughout the night. between like 6 and 8 hours, and it was a solid. I mean, she wasn't really waking up. If she did, the only thing that she would need was like her binky, and like I said, we did have her in a pack and play next to my side of the bed. So that's where she slept for the first 6 months. One thing that I highly recommend is a swaddle. There's so many different kinds. This is what we used. It's the copper pearl swaddles. I was obsessed with these because, as anybody with a baby knows, they are little Houdinis and they will get out of everything. And these ones I felt like she could not get out of, just because I think they're just kind of like a thick, solid material. You can really wrap them up super tight, but they still have like wiggle room because it's super stretchy. So if you hear like weird noises, she's playing with some toys over there. But these were the only swaddles that I used. We did use like muslin blankets when she was like itty bitty, but she started breaking out of those in no time, so we switched to these, and she could not get out of them. They were really tight and secure. I love these ones. I know so many parents love the like Velcro ones. It's like the Halo, or I don't know what the other ones were, but this is the only ones that we use. Loved them. So besides these swaddles, the only other, I guess, product that we used between like newborn stage and the 6-month mark was our iPad, just for some white noise. But we really only started using that when she was probably like 4 months old, because she was always a good sleeper. I mean, we'd have our TV on in the bedroom and she could sleep just fine. We always wanted her to be able to sleep through noise and not need like the white noise in a dark, quiet room. So she's been really good with that. You know, in the hospital when she was born, we always had music playing. We were always talking at like full volume, lights on, and she, you know, obviously as a newborn, they're gonna sleep pretty much anywhere. But we continued that, which I think did help her because she is a pretty solid sleeper. So those were the only 2 things that we like, I guess, used. When she hit 6 months, she was such a solid sleeper that we felt comfortable transferring her into the crib. We tried night 1 and we didn't put anything in here. You know, it was just her in the swaddle in her crib, and she was waking up that first night, and we were like, ah, we were like so bummed because she was such a solid sleeper. We like weren't expecting that. So what we ended up doing, and this is something that you're not supposed to do, and I think, you know, you're not supposed to do a lot of things, like just being honest. I think as a parent you just have to follow your instinct and like, you know, your child best and what is gonna work for them. And so what we did, we put a Donkatot in the crib and swaddled her and put her in this, and she started sleeping solidly through the night. I think it was just because like the bassinet in the bedroom was just more like secure. Do you remember this? I have it in the back because we don't use it anymore. But I don't know, I think she just felt a little more secure in this. So this is what we did. And she was rolling at 6 months, so with the swaddle, started leaving one arm out so that, you know, she could maneuver. I mean, she was strong enough to like pick herself up if she got stuck or something. Hi, can you say hi? No? So anyways, like I said, like there's so many things that you should and shouldn't do, and I mean, every website, every book, everything is gonna say different things, so just follow your instinct as their parent. We felt comfortable with it. Our room is literally like right there. We have the baby monitor. As a mom, I was like waking up during the night, I think just automatically, to check on her through the monitor and make sure she was okay. But we knew kind of at that point she'd wake up and start crying. You know, I think around that time, like they have enough strength to like move their head and, you know, let you know if something's wrong. So we felt comfortable with it. Hey. No. Another great thing about the Donkatot is if you go to a friend's house or something during the day or at night, she would sleep in it, which was awesome because she was like used to sleeping in the Donkatot, so we could take it anywhere and she would sleep in it. And you really liked it, huh? She's sitting on the bag right now. And then obviously I was going to mention too, like a binky. Some parents don't like to use them, some do. She loves it, still does, and that was like a major soother for her in those first few months, and still to this day, she still loves her rub-a-dubs. So between, see, like 6 and 8 months, those couple months, I mean, solid sleeper. She was actually sleeping about 14 hours a night. We'd put her down at 7 and she'd get up at like 9, 9:30, some days 10. Like, she was a sleeper. So it was great. And between that time, I don't remember when we did start putting both of her arms out of the swaddle. We just started wrapping her body up. So it seemed to work for a while. And then at the 8-month mark, that's when I feel like we got like a solid routine down. We switched some things up because she was sleeping so long, and we kind of wanted to start just having like a solid routine. Because those first like 6 months, like they're still figuring out their schedule and their rhythm, and like their feedings are going to be changing, their naps are going to be changing, things like that. So then I want to say around like that 8-month mark, it was like a whole new world of like sleeping. I mean, she kind of just like fell into her own schedule at that point. And so that is when we wanted to create like a bedtime routine for her, like a solid one. So what we started doing, we took the DockATot away. We took the swaddle away and started using a sleep sack. And I think we actually started using this probably around 7 months, I want to say. But it's just one of these. This is by Merino Kids. And it's just one that, you know, they can have their arms out and it zips up the bottom. And this is like a big one, so it'll last her a while. I think on like the website it says this is for like 1 month to like 2 years, but I don't think we're going to be having her in this at 2 years old. She'll honestly probably be out of it within the next few months, because she'll, you know, start sleeping with like more blankets and stuff like that. So more things that we started doing: warm bath every single night. We give her a bath around 6:30 after dinner, and just with like a lavender calming soap. I feel like every brand makes them. Honest, Aveeno, Johnson, you can find it anywhere. Just like a nice soothing bubble bath. And she's like waving her diaper around. So we do that, and we've always given her a bath at night, but now it's like always around kind of 6:30 or 7. And then after the bath, we put on a lotion. This is again just like a calming lotion. This is just the Aveeno. I do really like this one. We've also used like the Honest one, Dove. I mean, they're all great. I feel like this is the one that we've used the most though, so we just lather her up with this. And then on her little butt, we put Desitin, just because, and we've actually been using this for quite a few months, because since she has always kind of slept through the night, we want to make sure that she's protected just at night. And she's only had a diaper rash once, and it went away pretty quickly, so it wasn't like that bad or anything. So highly recommend Desitin. And then the other thing I was going to mention is actually what she's been carrying around with her is that diaper. We started using overnight diapers probably 2 months ago, because we were noticing that when she was getting up in the morning, her diaper was pretty wet. And, you know, that's not good for their skin. Their skin is so sensitive. So I thought, I guess we'll try an overnight diaper, see if it helps. That actually made a major difference. She was waking up earlier before we started using those, and now she sleeps longer in the morning. So I think it's just because they stay dry a lot longer. They say like 12 hours, and I find that to be true. So we just use the Pampers ones. She's carrying it in her mouth. She likes them. But yeah, so highly recommend if your baby, even if they're not sleeping through the night yet, I would still recommend getting an overnight diaper, just because maybe they're waking up because they're wet or something like that. They, you know, these stay dry longer, so they might just be more comfortable. Thank you. What else do we do? So we did start putting on, thank you, baby. We did start putting on noise in here, just as they get older, the more sensitive they are to noise and stuff when they sleep. She's still pretty good. Like we can like open her door and, you know, we'll have people over or whatever, but she sleeps through it all. But we do put on just the, I don't want to say it, we put on ocean waves. She doesn't really like any other like white noise. That's like her favorite is the Ocean Waves by Joe Baker. So if you're looking for one on like Amazon Music, that's a really good one. We just put that on, lights out, and she is good to go. We do give her a bottle at night. We're hoping that will end soon. Oh, besides that, the white noise, the swaddle, lotion, Desitin, overnight diaper, I think that's pretty much everything that we use now. And then we always make sure she has her binky. She has 2 of these. She actually has one right now. And then if anybody's curious, during the day, as far as like her naps go, we're still kind of on like the when she's tired she'll sleep thing during the, oh, so, ow, ow, ow. But she pretty much every day does take a nap around 11 o'clock. Seems to be when she gets tired, and then the rest of the day, these past few weeks, she actually hasn't taken a second nap. So, you know, if we notice that she's like yawning or pulling her ears or rubbing her eyes or anything, we'll try to put her down. But, do you have anything else to say? You heard it here first. So I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I think the main reason that she has slept so great is just because that's just her. The main things I would recommend would be like swaddle, warm bath, overnight diapers. I think those have made the biggest difference with her. So I hope this video kind of helped. If you guys have any questions about like her routine or any of this that I've talked about, anything, comment down below and I'll be sure to answer them. No. Like I said, I think the main thing is just, you know, knowing that like they will fall into their own schedule. And you know, I know so many parents, it's really important to have like a solid schedule. And, you know, that's totally fine for us. We just kind of went off of her, and now she has a really good schedule down that she kind of created herself. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Say bye. Bye.